So, what do CEOs want? Based on the Gartner report last year, they found that the top priority of many CEOs in 2023 is growth. Studies have shown that a successful growth strategy can make the organization more cost-efficient and increase profitability, and it's the top motivation for mergers and acquisitions. In an organization, the ones designing the strategy are high on top, but the ones implementing it are employees. This tends to be a challenge. As a response to change, there is culture resistance. But how does culture link to growth? According to research, better culture increases employee retention and higher returns to shareholders. Many leaders say from experience that good culture was a strong reason for their success. What is corporate culture? It is the shared set of values, beliefs, and norm of behavior. It exists to align efforts and encode organizational lessons about what does and doesn't work. Peter Drucker once wrote, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." If the strategy changes but the culture does not, you can bet the strategy will fail in implementation. Corporate culture is important for business performance. Organizations with weak corporate cultures have low engagement, high turnover rates, poor discipline, poor communication, bad reputation, etc. Why does the traditional approach to culture change fail? Most companies use survey tools that simply work to collect data, as opposed to using a diagnostic tool, which tells you exactly what to change. How do you change corporate culture in the age of artificial intelligence? It's a three-step process. The first step is to conduct a culture diagnostic to tell us where we are. The second step is to perform a gap analysis, which tells us what actions to take at the leadership level and down to each manager. The third step is monitoring continuous action, to make sure that you're going in the right direction. In the first step, you need to decide what kind of culture you want to build, understand the current state of the organization, and that's when culture diagnostic comes in. The culture of any organization really determines its speed of growth and profitability. What makes it even more complicated is, different parts of the organization can have different cultures. And what if the leadership hasn't defined the culture to align the organization to growth and profitability? This happens a lot. That's why a lot of mergers and acquisitions, or change strategies tend to fail. We now have 6 measurement systems that we can manage, measure, improve by each and every demographic. So we built this 3-tier system. The first of the 3 tiers is discovery, thus discovering gaps within the organization. If you close the gaps, then you'll improve the culture. Data is collected in a typical survey fashion, collecting data online from employees. These are all the reports we generate. The powerful thing about this diagnostic is the ability to slice every single data by work group. The screen that we're looking at is called the culture analysis. This tells you how well you're running your organization. These are the 6 components of culture: people, strategy, leadership, environment, client, processes. And that rounds up into a major score that shows how well the organization is running. If the score here is 69, then there is 31% chance for improvement. Each aspect of the culture is colored with green, yellow, and red to show you what is good, what can be improved, and what needs to be fixed. So the culture we're looking at, not only is it department by department, but it's the people within the department that need to be examined, and determine certain actions for certain groups of people within your organization. To change culture, you need to change mindset first. Using the Pearson correlation coefficient analysis, it's a key driver analysis. Each one of these numbers represent a statement in the questionnaire. On top of the chart is the key goal we're trying to accomplish. If we want to get to the goal, which one of these statements do we need to work on to drive and improve the organization? The higher the correlation is, the more important it is to drive the goal. So if you can focus on a couple of these, you're gonna improve your organization. It's going to be different for each branch, depending on the culture they have. Every work group has their own culture, and this makes the difference between diagnostics, gut instinct, or some second-rate survey tool that just gives you general overall information. This is the manager's report from a report we did for a client. In our work, the second tier, the execution level, is developing managers into world-class leaders by giving them the tools and understanding and equipping them with action plans to improve the culture of their work group. We use this report as an aid for both the consultant and the manager individually, to use the data to analyze their improvement capability. It's not just the managers that need to improve, but the relationships between managers and their people, the binding where they function together as a team for the benefit of the customer. The whole idea is to get managers engaged in the process. Most change management projects focus more on the corporate level, but they don't communicate it in a way that managers know what to do to execute that. It needs to be clear, what are the actions at the company level? What are the actions at manager level? Why this is important is because in traditional coaching and training, coaches discuss with executives about building individual strengths. The training that's necessary in order to get culture to grow is the training that looks at organizational strength, business strength, and culture strength. If you improve your culture, you improve the bottom line of your organization. There are 3 things you can do. Firstly, you could get trained and certified for your company. There is a 2-day training in Jakarta at the end of May to get you certified as a culture change specialist and have access to the software for 30 users for 3 months. You could also become a consultant or hire a consultant